Hi again folks, how you all doing? Welcome to another episode of In the Shed, where I show you some of the other locomotives that I've been working on recently. Not quite as many as usual, things have been a bit quiet lately, but that's been good because I've been able to get on with the layout a little bit. But things are picking up again now, so yeah, there'll be more in the next episode I think, but let's have a look to see what I've been up to. First up is this old Hornby 4P that was sent to me by Mick. It had a nasty kick at the front end, which on examination was caused by the front right hand drive wheel being very loose. I dismantled it and reset the wheels, which corrected the kick, but the locomotive was still lurching a bit. I played around with the position of the worm gear and the angle of the motor and managed to resolve the lurching. However, the model was still a bit stoppy-starty and generally running a bit rough, so I removed the traction tyres that Hornby seemed to think were a good idea on this model, and that sorted the poor running. So many of these Type 7 motor chassis models of Hornby's have these middle drive wheel traction tyres that invariably cause problems, and the models tend to run much better without them. Unfortunately, this model had a wee bit of a wobble that I just could not see any reason for and wasn't able to resolve it. I've seen this before with this particular chassis. It does seem to be prone to being a bit of a wobbler. I think it's maybe due to the sprung rear axle. Removing the traction tyres helped it a wee bit, but yeah, it's a bit of a wobbler and not much I could do about it, I don't think. Another Bachman split chassis A4, this time Golden Eagle. This was sent to me by David, just the usual axle replacement job and resoldered the pickup wires to the pony truck. Not much else to say really, although one of the underframe screws was well and truly stripped and needed to be drilled out. Axle replacements in these are pretty straightforward. The only thing I would add is to use good quality moulded replacements and not 3D printed ones. I prefer the ones sold by Peter Spares or the ones from Bachman themselves. Nice to see an A4 in this livery though. And another A4, this time a tender-driven Hornby Mallard sent to me by Keith. This had a loose front drive wheel and on testing had reversed polarity and it was shorting out in one direction. Opening the tender up revealed it being subjected to a DCC conversion, which was more than likely the cause of the shorting and incorrect polarity. So I stripped out all the DCC gubbins and rewired it back to how it would have been originally for DC running and sorted out the drive wheel, which needed rebushed. And then it ran fine after that. This old Hornby A4 was sent to me by Matthew. This was an old childhood model of Matthew's and a very hesitant and uneven runner. On close inspection, I found that the crank pins were pushed in too tightly, which was restricting movement, and also the back-to-back needed a bit of adjustment. But sorting that and a good clean-up, some fresh lubrication, and it ran okay. This being an older A4, it was never going to run as smoothly as the more modern ones with a better motor, but at least it ran a lot better than it did. Matthew also sent me this old Juf Cocoa locomotive, which belonged to his late father. He'd never seen this running, so I hope to get it going, even though I suspect it would, it wouldn't ever be a great runner. On inspection, one of the wires connected to the motor had become detached, which was likely the main reason it wasn't running. But also the contacts on the pickups were very tarnished and not conducting well as a result, so they all needed a good clean. So repaired the wiring, made sure all the contacts and pickups were clean, and it ran not bad at all actually. Bit noisy due to the very crude gearing, but it ran as well as it probably ever did. Matthew also asked me to fit some sort of tension lock couplings in place of the old double style ones. Fortunately, I was able to fit some old Airfix couplings just by screwing in with the existing screws, so an easy job. Not always so easy to replace these old couplings without resorting to epoxy or drilling. Now, it wouldn't be an In the Shed video without a Black 5, would it? This old Hornby Silver Seal model was sent to me by Glenn, and it was in a bit of a state. Unfortunately, I accidentally deleted the shots of the model I took when I looked at it initially. I don't know what happened there, but the tender body was very loose and it had been very badly rewired. An LED light had been stuck onto the front of the locomotive, just an exposed LED, nothing else, and it was wired into the locomotive. So the model needed a complete overhaul, rewired, I hardwired the locomotive and tender together, serviced the motor, fitted 4 new traction tyres and removed the LED that had no business being there, and it ran okay for one of these old models. And finally, this Daypol Class 121 was sent to me by Andy. It had the dreaded loose ends to the drive shafts. Having done one of these quite recently, I was hoping this would be pretty easy, but the drive shaft ends were well and truly stuck into the drive cups. I managed to get them out, but once I'd glued the drive shafts up, they wouldn't push back into the drive cups. So I opened up the cups a bit by grinding them out with a drill bit, and that allowed the drive shafts to pop back in okay. I gave the gear some fresh oil and I noticed that one of the gear spindles had fallen out. Shoved that back into place and reassembled it, and it ran okay. As I found with the other one I worked on, they run quite slow and with quite a high current draw. But yeah, a nice thing to look at though, but yeah, not the best quality model in the world. So there we are, that's some of the other locomotives I've been working on lately. As soon as I've got some others done, I will let you see. And should have some more repair requests coming up very soon, and hopefully another layout update video, but we shall see. Meantime, catch you later folks.